This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. So much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information, your identity, is vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hey, CityCast listeners, producer Layla Muhammad here. Our fall member campaign wrapped up last week. We saw such a heartwarming show of support from you guys, and we're truly so grateful. Thank you to our members, longtime and brand new. And if you didn't get a chance to become a member, don't worry. You can join anytime at membership.citycast.fm.
Las Vegas is the biggest city in the United States without a major art museum. But that's about to change. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm talking to Heather Harmon, the new director of the future Las Vegas Museum of Art. She tells us why the museum is finally happening now, as well as what it's going to be like inside and out. It's Monday, October 28th. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Heather, first of all, congratulations. Oh my gosh, what a job you have ahead of you.
Thank you. It's an incredibly exciting job, and there's a lot of work ahead, but it's something I know that is finally within our reach and that we will accomplish it.
Yes. Okay, so let's get into that nitty gritty because it's been a journey, has it not? Previously, the plan was to extend the Nevada Museum of Art, which is situated in Reno, here in Las Vegas. And basically, that was about to happen like right before the pandemic, and then the collab ground to a halt and grant funding was returned. So what has changed that is making the museum possible now?
I would say timing. Timing in Las Vegas for a museum right now is incredible. I can say that being in Symphony Park is really a catalyst to us, being adjacent to our beacons and our cultural partners there, from the Smith Center to the Nevada Ballet Theater to the Las Vegas Philharmonic to the Frank Gehry building that houses the LaRuvo Center for Brain Health. It just feels like a spectacular moment.
But it takes more than timing to make a museum happen. It also takes money mostly. So where did that come from?
Timing and the quality of the partnerships. We have amazing partners on the project. The city of Las Vegas has been an incredible supporter. The state of Nevada, our federal delegation, our community, our cultural partners, and a partnership with the LA County Museum of Art, which too is transformative.
Yeah, that seems like it's been the big one, LACMA, as it's known. So what is different about this LACMA collab versus the Nevada Museum of Art?
The partnership with LACMA gives us tremendous resources. It gives us access to the largest collection on the West Coast. It's encyclopedic, so it gives us a range of exhibitions that we can mount and share with the community, and also learning from their collaborations. They've been really leading the way with partnerships in the West. They have a partnership with the Autry Museum. They have a partnership with the Charles White Elementary. So really this idea of getting art into public view is very much a part of their mission, and we will certainly benefit from that expansion.
So it sounds like they're really helping sort of build the inside of the museum, from the programming to the how-to, but also literally we're going to be sharing their collections. Is that right?
We will be able to use their collection. We'll have access to the collection, and they will share it with us, and that will take the form of exhibitions and programming. And we'll be able to take exhibitions that have benefited from the scholarship of their incredible curatorial team, and we can also build exhibitions around our community as we start to grow and consider what our community wants to see.
So why has this been such a long, uncertain journey to building an art museum here in Las Vegas?
I would say it's a long journey. It's a long, loving journey that goes back many, many years. As we've started our effort, we've started to really look back at the history of the various museums and look at their leadership and look at their exhibitions and really study what's come before us so that we can, in a way, pay homage to all the efforts that precede us. And you can
Heather,
go back to...
it didn't take this long because I know, no, it can be loving, but like it didn't take us this long. Sorry, listeners, I wish you could see the beautiful dances and gestures she's doing. But it wasn't studying that took this long, right? I mean, it's been, we are the largest city in America that doesn't have a museum. Like, why do you think there was this holdup, both in terms of the big picture, but also like what happened along the way?
I don't think it was a holdup. I really give us a lot of grace. In Las Vegas, we are a very young city. We have come so far in such a short amount of time that we move so fast that we don't always give ourselves the opportunity to celebrate our growth, which I think is tremendous.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know what? I do have a question sort of on that about loving ourselves. And yeah, you're totally right. Like we're a city that moves really fast. And we don't always take a moment to like consider sometimes what might be best for the city. I mean, is it controversial for Las Vegas to even have an art museum? I mean, I've heard before this was sort of announced as a solid plan, some people are like, well, the casinos are fine art galleries, like they acquire modern art and we get to see it and that's all we need. Or of course, outside the city, I mean, I'm from out east and people are going to laugh at me that like Las Vegas, like what, they have an art museum? Like really, they don't even believe we have libraries sometimes. So like, is this a big deal? Is this controversial?
I don't think it's controversial. I just see it as necessary. Why would we not want to see buses of K through 12 school children getting out and experiencing a museum? Why wouldn't we want that for our community? Why would we want that possibility to expand our offerings in education and support for our community? Why wouldn't we want to give our community, in addition to everything we already have, a museum?
And I do want to shout out places like the Marjorie Barrett Museum of Art.
Alicia Curlin. We should give Alicia a shout out too.
Yep. So what difference does it make that this will be an accredited museum from what's already out there?
So what we can do is add to an already vibrant conversation. The programming that Alicia Curlin has initiated at the Barrick is extraordinary. It's relevant. It's timely. It addresses issues that people are facing. I don't know if you got to see the Ex Voto show, but it was fantastic. And the level of scholarship and the level of quality and relevance of Alicia's exhibitions are amazing. We also have a gallery called ASAP, which is in Commercial Center, which offers up exhibitions and programmings for local artists and will often stage these great exhibitions as well as lectures and programming around those shows. It's not that you want to replace any of these efforts. It's that you want to augment, you want to supplement, you want to support, and you want to create more space for art. And you want to do that collaboratively. You want to do that in partnership with great leaders. Another community leader that we all get to benefit from programmatically is Darren Johnson with the library district, who I don't know that there is anyone in our community that sees more art than Darren, who single-handedly...
Yeah, the Charleston Library, that's the one that has like incredible gallery, yeah.
Yes. And multiple libraries. He does programming at a number of the libraries in the library district. So we have great people here. Let's give more. Let's give more to our community and work in concert with these already thriving organizations that are doing such fantastic work.
Yeah, and I've noticed that a lot of the shows that are mounted, I mean, it's very cool because they're often extremely contemporary. These are living, working, often very young local artists. And so I love that that part of the scene is being so heavily represented. But it would also be great to present, a longer view of the history of art and humanity and here in the West. So actually on that, where will the art come from? Is there someone that's going on a shopping spree for opening day?
Woohoo!
Is it you? Can I come?
We're going to work curatorially with LACMA to do the initial programming. It's a little early to divine exactly what those shows will be, but in a couple of years, we'll look to announcing our first several years of exhibitions and programming. And we'll also work with our own team because part of our longer vision and that long-range goal is that we can create a space for career development in a way that we haven't had it. I have a, long career in museum administration that I really had to foster and develop outside of Las Vegas but yet I desperately wanted to come home. And we also think about that as we grow and as we expand our staff and as we create spaces for people to work and to see and to receive training and to participate and to have good wages and to flourish in their own careers, whether it be museum administration, curatorial, education, outreach. It will create a whole new structure for labor and job training that also, too, that we hope to collaborate with UNLV and the university's programming. I am a very proud graduate of UNLV where I received my bachelor in art history. And there isn't a moment where I don't think about what that means and how to carry that forward and also how to give it back.
This episode of CityCast Las Vegas is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all know it's a little weird and stressful out there, and your own mental health, well, that needs to be a priority. Sorting through the options, finding the right fit for you, that's a daunting task. With insurance woes, time restraints, and even the stigma in seeking support, it could be an additional minefield. And whatever your state of mind, you certainly don't need to pile on. If you're thinking about giving therapy a whirl and you're looking for an easy entry, affordable option, BetterHelp is out there. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. BetterHelp has a brief questionnaire before you get started to match you with the best option, but no screening is perfect, and if it wasn't a good fit, BetterHelp can switch licensed therapists at any time for no additional charge. As the word gratitude enters our vocabulary this season, think about how grateful those around you will be to know you're taking care of yourself. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/CityCast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/CityCast.
What's up, guys? It's the champ, Sean O'Malley, here to talk to you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. Run your game on Prize Picks.
Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code SPOTIFY. That's code SPOTIFY on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
So what do you hope the collection will look like in the long run? What do you hope to collect and feature in our museum?
We're not going to be a collecting institution to start. We are going to be a collaborative institution where we'll really focus on programming. And being very focused on programming will also allow us to listen and to interact with our audience. So after we really gain traction in programming, we'll be able to program to our audience. We'll be able to program to our community. So we'll give a very sharp focus to the exhibitions. We'll have 3 exhibition spaces, so they'll constantly be exhibition on view. But we'll also think about it in programming for all ages, school groups, and how we can deepen those experiences.
So mounting temporary shows and bringing in traveling exhibits versus a permanent collection, at least in the beginning.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. So you already mentioned, too, that the location of the museum will be in Symphony Park, right across from the Smith Center. You know, why there? Why that location when there is so much there already, as opposed to somewhere else in the Valley?
It's great to be in the company of our cultural neighbors, and it also increases our potential for collaborating and also for hosting school groups and working with the Clark County School District and other schools. The Smith Center has an amazing education center that's already doing really extraordinary outreach and collaborations with the schools. The Discovery Children's Museum. And so being in that location really allows us to cross audiences, to cross programming, to welcome our cultural partners into a dialogue, to be part of their dialogue, and to be part of the great work that they already do. It's also a place where a lot of the audience are our residents, is our community. Those are organizations that really have a very strong local presence, and they have a strong community audience, and that's exactly where we want to be.
So who is this museum for? Who will it be for?
We'll build it for our community, and we'll welcome our community, and we'll very thoughtfully program for our community while simultaneously enjoying the visitor population that comes to Las Vegas and participating in the cultural industry, which often has a global reach and a global range. So we'll do great programs and really think about our community as we build this museum and as we care for this institution. And we'll also welcome the visitors that are seeking culture, that are seeking these experiences.
Do you think it's possible to entice both the locals and the tourists?
Absolutely. Definitely.
How will you get them off the Strip?
We'll get them off the Strip, but we'll share them with the Strip. You know, we want to share. We want to strengthen. Museums are great bridges. They're great places for experience and culture and conversation and sharing. And so, like our other cultural partners, we'll want to support and share. And so we'll do that through our programming. We'll do that through our exhibitions. We'll do that through our shows. We'll do that through the cultural offerings that we'll bring to Las Vegas.
Will this museum be free for locals?
That is a very good question, and I think a very good goal. A lot of times when you see free admission at museums, especially for locals, you'll see this in other cities where if you show your driver's license or your proof of residency, you can get into the museum for free. Often this is a great fundraising tool and a great opportunity where you can have a sponsor that helps subsidize that free admission for locals. So that would absolutely be a goal, a fundraising goal for us, to have those conversations with potential sponsors that could potentially make the museum free of charge to our local community.
Well, if they're listening, because I know all of our local funders listen to CityCast. I mean, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. An art museum is free and has always been free. And I always see that as such an important way to make sure that that local community is engaged, right? We can so easily make art exclusive, and often it's the price point that does that. So that's something that I've really valued about my hometown. But of course, that museum has a huge endowment, I believe, from the Gund family, one of our oldest, wealthiest art families out there. So Gunds, Guggenheims, wins.
Free admission. And it is true. You know, MoCA and the Museum of Contemporary Art Los Angeles just got an incredible gift that allows them to give free admission for 10 years. Often your admission is a revenue stream to keep your doors open and to really support your operations costs. But it is possible to quantify it and fundraise for it and have an idea, even if you just start with a day. That's how I started going to museums in Los Angeles. Many of them were open late until 9 p.m. on a Thursday night, and Thursdays were free. So even when I went to college, I was able to experience free admission at a museum, and it really made it possible for me to go not once, but twice and 3 and 4 times. So it is possible to designate a day and make that a fundraising opportunity. It is also possible to work towards that in a larger sense, which of course we would want to support our community through admission and make it possible and accessible to go to the museum.
I mean, the glee of getting to visit a favorite piece of art whenever you want to is something truly special, to have that space and the affordability to meditate.
My first love was, I was an intern at the Bellagio collection at the Bellagio Gallery when I was in college here. And they had a beautiful Miro painting called Dialogue of Insects. And it was all these... It was a bright, bright, bright blue sky. Like I can picture it like it was yesterday, even though it was 20 years ago. And there was this almost wildly sharp black ear of corn coming up with these little plant-like formations coming off and these beautiful, playful, joyful insects. And I would walk by it all the time. I would stare at it all the time. It was so joyful. It was so joyful.
I mean, I have to say, even going to the Palms and getting to see a Warhol print up close, which has so much more texture than you'd expect, or to sit in a bar and have a drink and stare at Damien Hirst's shark, you know, there is such a pleasure to in-person art that I hope the museum can bring more of.
We can't wait.
So, can you talk to us more about the design? Who designed it? What it's going to look like?
The architect is Francis Carré. And we have just shared in our recent presentation to the city our first concept design, in which there are many references to Las Vegas embedded in that design. Francis lives and works in Berlin, but is originally from Burkina Faso. And he has been on several tour de forces of Las Vegas that has included everywhere from Hoover Dam to Valley of Fire to many, many, many sites and locations. One of the locations that really resonated with him when he visited was Paul Revere Williams' Guardian Angel Cathedral. And you'll see, when you see an image of the museum, the facade, you'll see these beautiful spaces where light comes in, and they're a beautiful nod and reference to those triangle apses in the Paul Revere Williams building in the Guardian Angel Cathedral that's on Las Vegas Boulevard, where the light comes in. And it's such a beautiful homage to such a revolutionary architect working in modernism and building this beautiful church in 1964, which if you haven't visited, I strongly encourage it. It's an amazing experience to be there, and you really can feel the architecture. And you'll also see in the early concept of the building, there's references to red rock in the material and the rock, and it also gives this reference to indoor, outdoor, and nature, and what we feel in Las Vegas, and the red rock and the nature that surrounds us. That's very much part of our desert environment.
Oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to see it. Okay, Heather, why should all Las Vegans support this new museum?
We're building it for you. We want you to have a museum. It is the Las Vegas Museum of Art. It belongs to you. It belongs to Las Vegas. It belongs to our community. And we want you to feel that it's an extension of your community. It's an extension of your home.
So when do you think we'll be able to step inside? What's the timeline?
We're looking to open at the end of 2028, and we can't wait to welcome you there.
Amazing.
Hopefully you'll be visiting some new favorite works of art.
Yeah. Heather, thank you so much, and good luck over the next couple of years as this immense project is built. Yay!
Thank you.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, please send it along to a friend, rate our show and leave us a review where you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care. I'm not in my polished studio. I am in a closet, and I'm going to put a blanket over my head. And that's how we make a podcast sound nice when I'm on the road. So just so you know what I'm doing.